Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Fun Friday Ideas with me, Susan, your speech language pathologist. Today, I'm going to continue talking about the development of logical thinking and play skills. In the previous videos, we looked into logical thinking development alongside play skill development and how we begin by first taking in our environment, taking in the sensory experiences, attaching meaning, starting to learn cause and effect, and then starting to recognize patterns, then how we can manipulate these patterns. If you need to go back and watch those previous videos for more information on the foundational skills, I highly recommend doing that now. We're going to get into the higher level logical thinkings, the gray area, the multi-causal, the triangular thinking. This is where we can really start to have some fun with our kids' minds. Once they have a solid understanding of that, they start to wonder. They start to want to experiment and see what this cause and effect, what the limitations truly are. As they start to get more complex with this, that's where we start getting into our multi-causal thinking. So multi-causal thinking is just as it sounds. It's where we start to realize there's more than one way to get to that goal, to solve that problem. Kids often start to learn this naturally when they ask mom for a cookie. Mom says no. What do they do next? They go ask dad. That's their first demonstration of showing some amazing logical thinking and figuring out more than one way to get their need met. It's important that we recognize this skill for what it is. Yeah, you could look at it as being manipulative or, not listening to when mom says no and scold. But deep down, let's recognize this. Your child is being flexible and trying to get their needs met in a way outside the box. Rather than just scold them for this, start to think of maybe a different type of response of, well, how bad do you want that cookie? Or why should I give you the cookie? When should I give you this cookie? Oh, well, we can't have the cookie right now. When later should I give it to you? Or what should you do to get the cookie? Again, challenging their minds and challenging that negotiation and that problem solving back and forth. After that multi-causal thinking, our kids start to realize triangular thinking. So it's not quite just multi-causal. It's thinking about the different influences on each other. So this really shines through with our reading materials and breaking down character motivations, similar to that multi-causal thinking in that it's more than one way to get a need met, but it's thinking about the different benefits that each side has for this. Think about that when you guys are watching movies together. Think about the different reasons and the different motivations behind these characters and talk about that. About Elsa and Frozen. Think about how she ran away because of the issues that she was having and dip into that a little bit. Think about the different ways that she could have solved that problem. But then also go back and now let's think about Anna. What did Anna want to do? What was Anna's motivation? What was her goal? And how did she achieve that goal? Was she able to do it by herself? Or did she have to ask other people to help her? What would have happened if she tried to do it by herself? How did those other characters help Anna in solving her problem? And what about Elsa? How did Elsa get her problems and her needs met? And who did she have to ask for help? And what were some other ways that all of this could have gone differently? How do we work on this in play? Get your Frozen figures out and act out the scenes and then change them a little bit and see what your kids do differently and how they solve that problem differently. Maybe Sven is sleeping and he doesn't want to help everybody right now. Sven is too busy taking a nap. Or maybe Olaf is sick. Oh no, what are we going to do with Olaf being sick? So add these different problems into a familiar storyline and help build that bridge of some multi-causal and some triangular thinking to get these characters' motivations and needs met. The next area that I really love to dip into is gray area thinking. So we've all heard of it before. There's either all or nothing thinking, yes or no, black and white. But then we have that gray area thinking. And this is an area that not just our kids struggle with, we struggle with it too. And you'll notice as you start to work with your kids in gray area thinking that you're probably a little bit more polarized than you think in how you perceive the world and how you view right and wrong. So gray area thinking can get divided out into two different subgroups. There's comparative gray area thinking, and that's when you're just thinking about, okay, Elsa is meaner than Anna. Anna is nicer than Elsa. So again, Elsa's nice, but she's definitely meaner than Anna. And Anna, of course, has her mean streak. I mean, we all have that. But Anna's way nicer than Elsa. There's different amounts. So there's, faster, 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 fastest, slower, 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 slowest. When you're on your swing or when you're on your bike, you can think about comparative thinking that way. There's also a great way to work on gray area thinking and that gradation of ideas that is not verbal. And many of these concepts have such a weight on the verbal component of it. It's hard for our kids that struggle with verbal reasoning to truly understand these concepts. And that's where I have my mandala here. Coloring mandalas is not only a relaxing experience, but if you choose just one color, you're going to have to color in gradations. You're not going to be able to just color it all in one hard, or well, you could, but color it all in one hard streak. You won't see the different patterns and the different shapes within the mandala. So print out some mandalas from Google and have your child pick one color, only one color, and see what happens. You do it too. See what happens. See how you can change the design using only one color. And that's getting on that gray area thinking without using words. That gray area adds that component of degrees of how bad, how good, how much, how little. So think about that in your negotiations too, and pull that out of your child. Ask your kid, what do you want for dinner tonight? I want pizza. They're going to answer probably something they shouldn't have. I want pizza. Well, how bad do you want pizza? Give me 3 good reasons why we should have pizza tonight, because I can think of 3 not so good reasons why we shouldn't have pizza. Thinking that is differentiated gray area thinking. You're not only comparing them, but you're differentiating them as well. So there's 2 different things going on there. Asking those hows and those whys to really get the gears moving and take that look internally as well. Trying to avoid the good versus the bad and putting it more into a context and giving your child the gift of reasoned judgment. A lot of times our kids have meltdowns and have breakdowns not because they don't understand discipline and not because they don't understand good and bad, but because they're lacking in judgment and they're struggling with, okay, I want to do this right now, but I can't do this right now. And how am I going to figure out another way to do whatever this is? The more we engage in them and model for them this healthy debate, this healthy back and forth, using something in different ways or in different gradations, the more that they'll understand how they can use different ways to get a solution met, or they can feel emotions to different degrees. Not everything is the worst day of our lives. Broccoli isn't always the grossest vegetable. There's a vegetable that's grosser than broccoli. What is it? What's a little less grosser than broccoli? Maybe you don't want broccoli tonight for dinner. It's the grossest vegetable in the world. All right. Well, you have to eat a vegetable tonight for dinner. What's a little less gross than broccoli? There you go. There's that debate back and forth. There's that negotiation. Your child's still going to eat some vegetable, but they're trying to think, okay, broccoli's the grossest vegetable in the world. I got to eat a vegetable. What's something I'm willing to eat that's just a little less gross? The more you engage like this with them like this, the more it gets those gears moving. All right, guys, let me know in the comments below how you're working on this gray area, multi-causal, triangular thinking. How are you getting those gears moving? What questions and debates do you like to have with your child? Until next week, I'll see you later.